Most of us have had experiences with narcissists, right? Some more severe than other. And for some of us, we grew up with narcissistic parents, right? And so I wanted to give you an example of what that looks like just because it's very spiritual, right? In nature. And so when we're speaking about attachments, this is a way that we can identify and become familiar with what having an attachment looks like and what having an unclean spirit looks like as well. So when it comes to narcissistic, whether parents or when we're in narcissistic intimate relationships, usually there is a time frame where the narcissist would portray to be the person that you want them to be. They'll basically mimic you. They'll be like a reflection of who you are, and they'll want to cater to you. They'll want to know about you. And this is a form of them studying you, right? So they want to study what you like, who you are, what things are you interested in, what experiences have you had. That way they can use that as leverage later on. It's not because they love you. It's not because they're genuinely interested in you. It's because this is a form. It's like school for them, so that later on they know how to play their role. So like if you've been abandoned, right? They're most likely going to be in and out. So like 2 weeks with you, 3 weeks off, 1 month with you, 1 month off. And the reason being is that these narcissists, they feed off your emotional responses, whether good or negative, right? But they like the most emotional responses that they like is the negative one, because the attachment that they have feeds off emotional responses. And because it's a negative attachment, right? It's darkness. They like the negative energy. That's what fuels them the most, right? And so with these narcissists, whether it is family members or narcissistic parents or in a narcissistic relationship, they do the same things. They don't have creativity, so they repeat. It's basically the same cycle repeated in different vessels. So it's a similar spirit, right? So they'll mimic you at the beginning. They'll portray them love you. Usually if it's a relationship, an intimate relationship, they'll love bomb you at the beginning, and like you'll spend hours speaking to these people on the phone and things like that, or spend hours together. This is not because they genuinely love you or that they're genuinely interested. This is because they're filling out their playbook. Okay? They don't love you. They don't care. They are incapable of loving you because they can't love themselves. They're wounded children who learned how to manipulate energy. This is a great example of energy manipulation as well. Because we think of energy manipulation and we're thinking like, somebody's going to come with a ball and no. It's literally bringing you down to a lower vibration so that they're able to control the way you move. And based on the knowledge that they get from you, they're already going to know how you're going to react, or what buttons to push so that they can get the response that they want from you, right? And so the tactics that they use are very much similar. So if in an intimate relationship, the lover is coming in and out of the relationship, they're, constantly creating chaos. They're constantly pushing the buttons that they know that will trigger you. The same thing with a narcissistic parent, right? This parent will also leave you, right? This parent will cast you out. This parent will create false narratives around your name, and they'll have everybody and their mother basically coming up against you, right? So the same thing with the narcissist within a relationship, right? When the narcissist is ready to leave you, or and they don't usually leave for good. They leave you for a certain time and then they come back again. They leave and then they come back again. They leave, love bomb you, come back in again, right? And because it's been a situation where you're going from fight, flight, freeze, fight, flight, freeze, and you're releasing the substance inside of us that it's like for when we go into flight. Your body gets accustomed to being in this survival mode, right? And so it's very difficult for the person who's being abused in this matter to realize the cycle that they're in. That's why it's so important that we go fully no contact with these individuals once we decide to leave, and we change up the energy around ourselves, around our home. If you've been married, you throw out the bed. Anything that connects you energetically to this person, you eliminate out of your surroundings so that you may heal, right? Because it's very easy for them to attach to you again. And so the same thing with the parents, right? And they'll start this, it'll be a cycle. Usually with the parents, it'll be a cycle from early on, right? Where they're casting you out, throwing you out, abandoning you, basically not giving you any love, right? They use love as a form of like a weapon, right? So if they give you a little bit of it, then they take it away. They give you a little bit, then they take it away. The same thing with the narcissist, right? When you're in a relationship with them, they know that you love that, right? So as a form of punishment, they won't give you any of the love that you thought you needed, right? And so for some of us, like I remember I would say, but he used to hug me and now he doesn't hug me. It was like some stupid stuff. And these things will really be real for us in our minds, these things, because we're so accustomed to it. We're programmed to receive the breadcrumbs that they give us, right? And so when it comes to these narcissistic people, they have unclean spirits attached to them. And the way that these unclean spirits attached to them was because they got so low vibrational, because they never healed their inner child. They never healed their wounds. And so they learned how to manipulate energy, how to manipulate other people's free will by first finding out what wounded these people, right? Their prey, what wounded them. So if you have any abandonment wounds, if you have any rejection wounds, these are the things that they're going to weaponize against you, which is why it's so important that we heal, right? Because once we heal and we're aware of the wounds that we already have within ourselves, when these things happen and it's presented in front of us, instead of us going with it, we are going to go within and we're going to identify and say, okay, so this is betrayal. This is abandonment. Why do I want to put myself through this again if I've healed this, right? Or I've healed this already. I'm not going to put myself through this one more time. And even if we haven't healed it yet, but we're able to identify that that's what's happening, that is the first step, right? Because once we are able to identify it, we can now make a decision and choose, do I want to go through this back and forth type of thing? I've already been through this. Or should I choose to go within and heal, right? And so I'll be back with more.